Okay, let me show you guys. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Look at my earring. Anyway, guys, this is kind of difficult for me. For me, it's a bit difficult because ek lyk soos 'n dwergie. There's something about our Uber ears. Because Kleingeld is my stepfather's, well, my mother's first husband's surname. Uh, my biological father's surname is Visage. My biological father's mother is in America. I've never met her before. I only heard of her. My mom have told me many beautiful stories of her, and she normally says that I do tend to have my grandmother's, in Afrikaans we call it neigings. It means that most of what I do and the way I am is mostly aimed towards my father's mother. She says we are one person when it comes to personality. And obsessive compulsive cleaning disorder. So, and she says we look alike. So I only know her name. Her name is Angela Amos, and apparently she has 2 AAs on her front teeth. But yeah, and she also started a new family that side. I can understand why, because my father, I've only seen him 3 times in my whole life. And he's an alcoholic. I don't know whether he is or was. I don't know where he is. The last time I saw him, I was a teenager of 16 years old, and I never saw him again. It's probably 14 years now, more or less. I want to share with you guys that how my hijack days saved my life and turned me into recovering for 9 months, and how the trauma also affected me, because I saw a trauma therapist at Littleton police station, but they only saw me 3 times. She only saw me 3 times, never again after that. And I started having a lot of weird things happening to me. It didn't happen right away. I was 9 months sober, and then I went through a very bad breakup, and I relapsed. And the trauma of my hijack case didn't help very much, because I can remember that trauma and me not getting the psychological help that I need. I was in a destructive path. My addiction got so bad that when I did seek help, I went as far as Piet Retief to get help from a rehab there. And they said I should go to the hospital to get my organs checked out first before they can help me. I went, I came back, and they just didn't want to help me. They just didn't want to help me in whatever way, shape, or form, because I think I was a high risk and my organs were busy giving in. So I'm basically a miracle sitting here. I'm like a walking dead sitting here. I am currently experiencing a lot of symptoms, which is not fun. And I hope that my videos can help other people just like me, because the way I am scaling down in this recovery, I am feeling a lot better, faster. And as you can see, I'm slowly starting to develop veins again, like that. That's veins coming back. And yes, the nurses can still not get any veins. I have to go to a doctor to withdraw veins straight from the main vein, the main source. That's the only way they can help me. And the doctor said to me, "That's very bad. That's very bad. And I hope you get better. And I hope you do recover." But to be honest with you, the way I feel that I can be able to recover and never use again. But there's something in me that's just telling my mind that when it comes to my health, I don't think that I will ever fully recover. I just think that's impossible. Because when a person nearly died so many times as I did, and OD'd so many times, there must be brain damage. Because I am experiencing migraines and everything, and I do really want to go for a full checkup, because I am suspecting that there is something big wrong and going on, and the symptoms that I do have, and putting them into Google and YouTube and searching and doing research on my own and all of those things, because each time I'm sick and then I somehow diagnose myself, and when I do go to the doctors, private doctors, it's like I don't even tell them, I just tell them the symptoms, and then they tell me, "Yes, we did the tests and this is what you have," and then I'm like telling the person I'm currently living at, "You see, my suspicions was right. Told you. I told you." Because every time when I mention something, then they're like, "No, we don't think it's that serious. We don't think it's this. We don't think it's that." But, yeah, unfortunately, if I have a suspicion, it always seems to be the reality. It's like I know it. It's like I have a sixth sense that's within me ever since I was a little child. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it, and I'm not even gonna try. Yeah. I also will have to go for a mammogram to check for breast cancer and any type of cancer, because I am the third generation in my family, and in my family, cancer, it wiped out my mother's father's whole family, so to speak. My mother is born with cancer. Her twin brother passed away, and her father passed away of lung cancer, and two of my cousins, that is also the third generation, survived cancer. And we, as a third generation and the fourth generation, should go twice a year, as they told us, for cancer checkups. So, yeah. But the thing is, I had to save money to go private, just so that my private doctor can tell me what I already knew, that I have streptococcus, because I did get boil sores on my skin, and I did get all of the symptoms of boil sores and streptococcus bacteria infection, and I honestly was sitting with the symptoms now for 2 years, because it's December. And I did go to the state hospital, and they're just not doing their job. They did not diagnose me. They didn't do anything about my symptoms whatsoever. The only thing they did was keep on testing me for the same things over and over and over, even when it proved negative. They kept on testing me for the same things for 2 years on end. So, yeah, that's why I don't like to go to the hospitals, because you know that it's always just going to be a waste of time. Especially when you tell them you're in recovery. They'll just be like putting every symptom you're displaying to them and saying that, yeah, it's your recovery symptoms. You will display those symptoms, which in reality, those symptoms does not match up to any withdrawal symptoms whatsoever. So yeah, I don't like to go to public government hospitals, because yeah, they pay the nurses in any way to sit and sleep. There's one time I was in the hospital, the lady next to me, she asked the nurse the whole time to bring her yogurt, and then I went to bath. When I came out of the bath the next morning, when I went to the bath. When I came out, they pushed her out. That lady passed away. Her family came to get her stuff and empty her bed and all of those things. By the time the family went home, this fucking nurse took that lady's yogurt out of the fridge, who just passed away, and ate it. She never gave the lady a yogurt. And it's no use to report them, because here in South Africa, the police are thugs. They do fuck all. You pay them to do fuck all, and if you want them to do something, you have to pay them to do their own jobs. That's how corrupt they are. So it's very bad here. Anyway, good night, guys. I'll speak on my recovery and my journey tomorrow again, and let you guys know a little bit more of me. Monique, klein geld, visage, versage, Hubert, lemmer, mixture of whatever, boer. Good night, guys, and always remember, let your light shine. And if I can do it, who was addicted 12 years, so can you.